Right, guys, there we have it. I have just literally to that second finished watching the Aston Villa versus Chelsea game. Oh my God, we almost saw classic Chelsea back again. Of course, we get the win 2-1. I predicted 3-1, so 2-1, not bad at all. I'll take it. But Jesus Christ, to go behind like from that set piece goal, it had to be a set piece goal, didn't it? We are awful at defending set pieces, and it just had to be that would be our downfall in that game. And we got the win. I'm very happy that we got the win because, you know, we deserved it. We absolutely deserved it. If we take a look at the stats here quickly, as you can see, game finished 2-1. Pulisic, like, as soon as I saw the lineup, I was worried. I was on Twitter tweeting, obviously, and I was worried. I thought the lineup wasn't great. Ruben starting was a mistake. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Pulisic on the left absolutely should have been the situation. Like Ruben on the wing, definitely. Like Ruben in the central midfield, maybe. Or as a cam, maybe. But on the wing, definitely not. Pulisic deserved that start. And we saw it when he came on. Like minutes after he came on, absolutely impacted the game. I knew he was the kind, like Pulisic is that guy. He's so capable of beating a man. He's so capable of getting an assist. He's creative. He's got the eye for goal. Like, he had to start this game. I'm very confused why he didn't. It could have been a fitness issue, sure, that we just don't know about, but I was very concerned on that. Aspi at right back, like, sure, he ended up getting, I think it was just the one assist, might have been two, I'm not sure, but like in general, if we take a look over here, Aspi with the 7.11 in the end, very good, but leading up before like those two goals that we got, Aspi was very bad. Like his crosses were unable to beat anyone. Willian was poor. His crosses again unable to beat the first man. A couple of his corners just absolutely terrible. I wanted to see Reece James out on that side because his crossing ability was going to be key in this game because we knew Aston Villa were going to sit back, and as you can see, like their formation doesn't look like it, but realistically it was, I think, just Davis up front. Grealish and Trezeguet were part of that midfield three there, making it five, so it's like a 4-5-1. And they were just sat back compact, and we knew we were going to get chances to dominate the game. And if you look at the possession, like, gee, it was 74% possession. We absolutely dominated the game. 18 shots, 6 on target, so we obviously deserve the win. Jack Grealish could not keep off the ground that entire game. It was so frustrating to watch and just have him every single time flop into the ground, as he always does. And then at the end, there was a bit of afters between him and Rudiger, but I assume there's no bad blood. I think it's all just in the heat of the match. They were really hoping to get a win here because they managed to nab, of course, a set-piece goal against Chelsea, and it was a very tricky one. In terms of individual performances, Giroud, I think, did better than a 6.69. I think that's a little bit harsh on Giroud. Obviously got the winning goal, which is key. Pulisic, a 7. I could make an argument for an 8 or so there. He did really, really well. Willian on a 7.25. I think he was generally quite poor. I would probably say a 6.7, somewhere about there is what I'd give him. Mount was outstanding the entire game. Not only was he a little bit of a goal threat, he was making the right passes, making the right decisions, and just in general, like, absolutely controlling the game in parts. Very, very good. I'd give Mount possibly my man of the match, apart from, you know, Pulisic I would probably give it to because he came on and impacted the game instantly. But Mason Mount did very, very well that game. Kante just did very well. I think we saw him sit quite a bit deeper, and he was just sort of there to mop things up and clean up, and did a very good job. He won a few headers against some taller players. He was cleaning up, making sure the defense just like weren't too, you know, they weren't the last line of defense. The ball would get cleared out after we attack, and Kante would be there challenging for the header, and then the defense would win the second ball, or Kante would header it down to them or something like that. Did very well. Kovacic a little bit missing in this game, didn't manage to have many of his, you know, running dribbles through, had a volley that almost got us even, but in general, not his greatest game. I think Barkley did really, really well off the bench. Aspi, poor defensively in aspects, but in general, I'd say after, you know, in the whole 90 minutes, had a good game. It was not Zuma that played, it was Christensen. Rudiger, I would say Rudiger was probably a 6 at best. He had a lot of dodgy moments. He missed the ball like in an attempt at a pass once. He just generally was just didn't seem to have the concentration in that game. It was very weird. Alonso did pretty decent out on the left-hand side. I think it's quite a generous rating, to be honest. But did well. He was a bit of a threat going forward. Did decently in defense. Didn't really have much going, you know, wrong there. but in general, not bad. Kepa with a 6.4. I would say he did all right. The goal wasn't necessarily his fault. I think Christensen was very slow to recover from the ball. I think he was very, very poor recovering the ball. In general, I think Kepa had a fine game. Nothing really to worry about. Very happy we managed to get the result there, because that was very, very sketchy. If we take a look at the Prem table here, we can now see, as things stand, Chelsea with 51 points, Leicester on 54. So only 3 points difference between us. Of course, they're ahead on goal difference. So if we want to catch them up on that, we'll have to be doing wonders. But realistically, we're going to have to beat them on points. Man United now 5 points behind us. I think that's a great sort of extension between us and them. Of course, Wolves are going to be a threat as well. They're 46 points as well. Sheffield, Tottenham, not massively worried about. Sheffield have looked poor. Tottenham too far behind to really be a problem, and they probably won't pick up enough wins. Anywhere below that obviously isn't a problem, but looking ahead, Leicester are definitely catchable. We need to improve though on today, because today we were dominating the game. We had like 90% possession for certain sections of the game, and we were absolutely dominating, but there was not enough chances created. Now, Mason was doing really well, fed one into the back post for Ruben. Ruben wasn't there to get it, and I think if Pulisic's on, I think he probably nets that. And I think the selections need to definitely be fine-tuned. I think obviously we've got a game against, I think it's Man City is our next fixture. If we take a look here, Manchester City on Thursday at 8:15 in the UK. So maybe Frank was looking ahead to that a little bit with the selection. I could see a case for Barkley starting. He looked good. Mason, I think, has to start. Pulisic has to start on the left. On the right, Willian looked average at best. I could definitely see a case for Willian being dropped, maybe trying Pedro, but depends how training goes and how everyone's looking and stuff like that. As for the defence, I don't know what we do to fix that defence. The defence looked very, very dodgy. It was very, very dodgy. And personally, I can make a case for Zuma coming back in better in the air. I think there was a few headers we could have won. Christensen just asleep for their goal. It was very, very poor. He was literally stood there whilst Kepa had just made a save. The ball rolls back. Had he been charging in there, he almost definitely would have been able to get a foot in or a leg in, or just slide in front of it, get a block, and stop them from scoring that goal. So Christensen, I can make a case for being dropped. Keeping Rudiger, I guess, unless Tomori's fit, but I don't think he will be by then. I think it might have been a 10-day injury for Tomori. That might have been Callum, though. I'm not too sure. But yeah, definitely the back line needs a little bit of work. Reece James, he came on and he didn't look comfortable on the ball. Now, of course, we've had a lot of time off. I think it's like 105 days or something that we've had off. So understandable maybe that he isn't as sharp as he should be. But I think Reece James plays better starting. I think he, having time to compose himself into the game, he can play into the game, not having, to come on and instantly be good. Because if you come on in the 75th minute or whatever, you have to come on and you have to be good. Because if you're not good, then we concede. And he lost the ball a few times, could have caused us some dodgy situations. So definitely need to be wary of that. I personally would have started in this game. But in the end, as we did, but very well attacking-wise to help us out and get the goal. But whew, that is a massive release of pressure. That first game on is a 2-1 win. Aston Villa so lucky to even have a sniff at winning that game. I was so furious when we conceded that goal, because I was like, oh, this is just going to happen, isn't it? Like, we come up against a team, absolutely dominate them, and then they'll end up getting the win through a sneaky set piece or something like that. I honestly was not sure we were going to be able to score. Giroud looked so frustrated all game, didn't look like he was getting any service, and the wingers weren't really producing anything between Ruben and Willian. Mason was probably our best player in the first half, creating a lot of chances. So definitely think Mason has to stay in the team. Jorginho, I think, is back for the next game, so we might see him instead of Kovacic, with Kante in the midfield then as well. Pulisic, maybe even Mason on the right side. Mason looked really strong even when he was playing out wide, so I could make a case for Pulisic. Maybe Giroud, maybe Tammy. Tammy didn't really have much to do. And then a defence. probably bring Zuma back into that ahead of Christensen would be my advice. But we'll see how that one goes. That is going to be a tough game against Man City. We are home, but does that even mean anything anymore? We don't know. But that's going to be the end of this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have any suggestions on any questions or anything like that, or if you want to let me know what you guys thought of the game, let me know in the comment section, because that was a thriller. That one was an absolute heart racer. So I'll catch you in the next one, guys. See ya.